Good afternoon, everyone. This is Eric Mashinsky with the Gold Investment Letter. Today is May 30th, 2017, and I've invited a guest, Jack Bal. Jack, how do you say your last name? Bal or Ball?
Both are fine. Ball's fine.
Okay, that makes it easy, Ball. With Equatorial Exploration, which is a company that I've been buying and recommending and talking about the last few weeks because the lithium sector has really got my attention, and I've been watching this space for a while, for a couple of years, and we've traded it before, but I have avoided and been really cautious in going in as a long-term investor, really just not having a keen sense of the true potential on the supply and demand side of lithium and sort of the macro outlook, and then also learning more about the particulars from a geological standpoint and some of the projects that might be most beneficial. But that has changed in the last few months as I've done more diligence. And really the one thing that keeps leading me, you hear a lot of buzzwords about the Tesla Gigafactory and all the things that are going on with lithium-ion batteries due to these new trends and some supply constraints that could be here in the market now and even coming. But what we'd like to talk about today is Jack's particular viewpoint on that, why he got into lithium. The one thing that keeps driving me to build positions in these undiscovered little juniors in the lithium space is that the price of lithium and the lithium ETF literally just last week, and again today, it looks like it's testing highs we haven't seen in 5 years. And typically that money will flow down to these smaller companies. So Jack, happy to have you with us today. How are you?
Hey, Eric, I'm doing great. I was going to say I'm in sunny Vancouver, but being in Vancouver, it's a little bit cloudy today, but we've had a pretty good week here.
Same in New York. Well, we'll kick right into it, Jack. Why don't you, I'll let you roll through the PowerPoint and tell the story, but maybe just to kick it off, what got you involved in this project, a little bit about your background, and then, maybe importantly as well, what do you think about lithium?
Sure. My background is mainly business. I started a technology company way back in 1988, and it was the two of us, and we grew it to a company in 2001 with over 200 employees, and we actually took it public, and a light bulb went on in my head, and I realized, there's lots of good projects out there. Most never get financed because, you're looking in the wrong field or wrong area. So the public markets really intrigued me, and I've, financed quite a few deals. And over the years, I realized, with the ups and downs of the market, that you have to focus on projects that have a chance of going into production, creating cash flow in a fairly small period of time, because I've been involved in many plays, and it seems like every 3 to 5 years the markets change, and if you haven't gotten involved in projects that were advanced and had a chance of going into production, then you really didn't do much of a job for the shareholders. So when I go and look for projects, I'm looking for advanced projects that's had quite a bit of work done on it, were passed over. Either they're looking for something else or just bad timing. So I've put together 3, I think, very good lithium projects. I'm anytime soon. My understanding is, the world's gonna have to produce, 500% of the lithium we're producing today to satisfy demand in the next 5 years. So, I'm looking at plays that, where maybe in the next 3 to 4 years, we could actually get production from. So I put together a hard rock play in the Northwest Territories. I'm just gonna scroll down here. And it's the LNPG project. It's one of the largest pegmatite swarms in the world. It was originally explored for tantalum, and 10 years ago, 15 years ago, there was a big rush on tantalum projects. So there's quite a bit of drilling done on the project, lots of work done on it, and just recently they went back and started assaying for lithium and realized that it's actually one of the highest grade lithium deposits out there. So we're quite excited about it, and I'll get into that project a bit more detail, because we plan to do quite a bit of work on it, within the next, let's just say, 1 or 2 months. The other projects that we've acquired, and again, all our projects are 100% owned. We feel that, at this point of exploration, you need to own 100% of the projects. So we picked up the Tule Valley Lithium Brine Project in Utah. It's a large closed-off valley, which means that liquids could come into it, but there's really no way for them to escape the valley. So over 1 million years, there's quite a bit of lithium up in the mountains surrounding the valley, and over 1 million years, that lithium slowly moves into the valley and gets mixed with the liquids which are in the valley, and it's a dry lake bed, so there's quite a bit of brine in there. We did quite a bit of sampling a year ago, and we got some excellent lithium numbers within 1 meter of surface into that, and we've just actually completed some work there as well. Gerlach is our project in Nevada. It's a very seismic and volcanically active area, which is very conducive to brine production and lithium production. So we haven't done as much work there, but there's quite a few projects, large lithium projects in our vicinity, and it's definitely going to get our attention within the next 12 months. And we also have a bit of our feet in the magnesium business. We have a right to participate in a production scenario in Quebec, one of the largest deposits of mined magnesium in the world. There's 300 million tons of 22% magnesium actually sitting in stockpiles, and we're working with a group that has developed a low-cost magnesium metal manufacturing process. So we hope to move that forward. The LNPG, which the Little Lahani project, very rare do you find projects in the Northwest Territories that actually have road access, and the reason for that, our project's on the border of the Northwest Territories and Yukon, and where you find deposits, usually you find other deposits. So we're actually very close to 2 large deposits. There are 2 roads, actually all year round roads, that go through our property. We're very close to Howard's Pass, and Howard's Pass has had over $100 million spent on it in the last 5 years. And it looks like it may be one of the largest zinc lead deposits in the world. It's owned by a large Chinese private company, and they have 5 drill rigs on it. So, the benefit there is, they keep the roads well maintained. They probably are looking to, as the price of those commodities go up, they're probably looking at going into production, which is great because we can piggyback on their infrastructure. The other project that's very close to us is the Cantung mine. It was a large tungsten mine that just recently shut down. The government of the Northwest Territories bought the mine, and they have a 2,000 ton per day processing facility, flotation plant in care and maintenance. And we've unofficially spoken to them about maybe using the mill in a production scenario if we develop a large enough resource on our property. So it's it may look like the project's far flung, but there's lots of infrastructure. There's road access, and a government that's ready to work with us. That if we want to do a bulk sample or go into production, they're looking for somebody like us to probably take over that facility. So we're very excited about this project. We plan to actually do a large drill program starting. We just spoke to Archer Cathro, which is doing our geological work for us. They plan to be on the property in mid-July. We'd like to drill up to 4,000 meters and see what kind of numbers we get with some of the deeper holes. The pegmatite is a large pegmatite. It's over 13 kilometers long. You could see it from surface, and in places it's over 500 meters wide, the dike swarms. And each dike is between 0.2 and 10 meters. The beauty of this is you could easily mine this, and it's easily separated from the host rock without a lot of technology. Lithium, the source rock, spodumene is kind of a whitish pink, so it's very easy to get on a conveyor and separate it using basic technology. But most of the largest hard rock lithium mines are LCT types. This is a lithium, cesium, tantalum pegmatite dike, and the projects that are actually getting the green light going into production are these type of pegmatites. And the large deposit in Australia, Greenbushes, world's largest active lithium mine, is an LCT type. We've done quite a bit of work on this project in 2016. We did channel sampling, lots of sampling. We re-assayed core, and we're averaging close to 2% lithium, which is probably on the higher end for lithium projects. And after our drill program this year, if we can delineate a big enough resource, we may approach the government and see if we can't do a bulk sample, create a concentrate, and we've already been approached by buyers who would buy a concentrate. There's quite a bit of demand. Just some of the highlights of our work program in 2016. We did quite a bit of channel sampling, and we got between 1.5% and 3% lithium. Excellent results. And we really only sampled a very small portion of our swarm. Historically, and there are some drill results from 2007, but again, they didn't really go for the lithium. They're mainly a tantalum play. But even in the drill results, you get between 1% and 3.5% lithium. So we're very encouraged. We plan to do a large drill program. The goal is to drill below surface and see how deep these swarms go, to kind of get an idea of what kind of tonnage we can produce, and see if there's enough there, just based on the drilling we'll do, that we could do a bulk sample and approach the government and get cash flow from this deposit. Fortunately, there's lots of people out there that will fund production for lithium, especially on a project that has the infrastructure in place. The 2,000 ton per day processing plant will probably cost you, $30 million if you have to build it today, and it's already there. It's under care and maintenance, and the government, I'm sure, would love to have a company like us use the mill. So that's the basics there. We expect to commence our drill program probably mid-July. It'll go for 6 weeks, and we will probably get results probably early August, September, and October. So we're very excited about this project. The other two projects, I'm going to first talk about Tule Valley lithium brine project. A lot of people are in Nevada looking at projects there, and there's some good lithium deposits, but there's also a big water issue in large parts of Nevada, especially Clayton Valley, where a lot of deposits have been found, but it's very difficult to get water rights to actually produce lithium in those areas. So what we try to do is we try to go to areas, number one, that are conducive to production, where you get state support, where they'll let you they support these type of deposits, and you have access to water, and those are were important areas. We acquired a project called Tule Valley. It's in Utah, and it's just north of Crystal Peak's potash lithium deposit, which is going into a feasibility study, and they plan to go into production. So we're very happy for our location. Our valley is a closed off valley. There are two large occurrences of lithium just to the north in the mountains. One is the Honeycomb project, which had quite a bit of work done on it and had some excellent lithium numbers. And then there was also a beryllium lithium project also to the north of us. And over a large period of time, these deposits deposited quite a bit of lithium in the valleys. And the Tule Valley is the end valley here. It's a closed off valley, which means all liquids that go into this valley pretty well end up in there. It's a dry lake bed. We did some major sampling in 2016. We got over 200 parts per million lithium within 1 meter of surface. You dig about 1 foot and you hit liquid. So we're quite excited. We just completed a major geochemical program, geophysics, and based on that, we staked an additional 4,000 acres in the area. So now we probably have 100% of the area that we think is going to have the large brine deposits. Our goal probably in the next 60 days is we're in the process of applying to the BLM to do a drill program, and we like to do 20 shallow holes to test the lithium down to depths of up to 100 meters. And based on the results we got right at surface, it's very encouraging. We may have a very large, we do know the entire valley is full of liquids. And based on, just surface sampling, there's quite a bit of brine there. The lithium numbers are great. After we do a drill testing, we think, we'll be in a position to, evaluate the project towards production. We are talking to quite a few groups that have developed technologies, outside of the settling pond and evaporation pond model, which Crystal Peaks is going to use, but black box technology where they can take the lithium out of the liquids. So once we do a drill program and take samples, there's about 4 different companies that have requested samples of our brine to see if they can create a lithium concentrate, at a price that's economic. So we're quite excited about this project. And just more information, give you an idea, why we having such great lithium numbers in Tule Valley. You can see there the Honeycomb Hills deposit is rich in uranium, but also quite a bit of lithium. And then there's another deposit to the northeast, which is also quite enriched with lithium. And over a long period of time, these deposits have essentially gone into the valley and enriched. So that's why we feel we have a very high grade lithium deposit in Tule Valley. So just going over some of the work we did, there's quite a bit of sampling done in 2016. We sampled water, which bubbles right to the surface. We also did 13 soil samples, and we got lithium on every sample, even in fresh water. So that's pretty encouraging. There's brine directly below the surface. We sampled up to 200 parts per million lithium, which is excellent at that elevation. It's a very hot climate. It's very conducive to evaporation, very similar to what you see in Nevada. So we're quite excited about that. Bottom line, it's we have surface brine, saturated muds, anonymous with lithium, and we're quite excited to do our drill program and see what kind of lithium numbers we can come up with. Our third project is Gerlach lithium brine. It's it's near Reno, Nevada, and it's not that far from the Tesla Gigafactory. Again, it's a closed off valley. We're finding that large lithium deposits are found in areas that are very active and geothermally active and very volcanic, and this fits the bill. Again, it's a closed off valley. There's been quite a bit of historical sampling, and there's quite a bit of lithium that has been detected in this area. We haven't done a lot of work on it. It's a project that we plan to do work this summer on. But there were, in 2009, there were quite a few samples taken, and significant values of beryllium, lithium, and uranium were found. So it definitely requires some more work, but we're excited about the project. Again, it's very close to the Tesla Gigafactory, so we're planning to do some work there, probably some geophysics and some shallow drilling to see what kind of lithium numbers we get just below surface. And the last project is not lithium related, but we invested in a company called Mag1 Products, which got us the right to build a facility to manufacture magnesium. There's only one magnesium metal facility in all of North America. That's in Salt Lake. Almost all the magnesium imported into the United States comes from China. It's becoming a very strategic metal. The U.S. has put a $1,400 a ton duty on magnesium coming from China to support production in North America. To date, it's been very expensive to produce magnesium metal. It's one of the lightest metals in the world. It's lighter than aluminum. It's the strongest steel. And it's said that to really improve fuel efficiency in automobiles, they're going to have to start using a lot more magnesium to build cars. Right now, there's about 100 pounds of magnesium in every car, and that probably needs to go up by 5-fold. And that will actually be one of the main catalysts to make automobiles more efficient. Mag1's developed a technology which was developed in the United States that can make magnesium metal at probably 25% of the cost of technology out there. There's a process in China that's being used, but it's illegal in most of the world because it's very pollutive. And they've developed this technology. They're currently building a pilot plant. And based on the pilot plant, if it's successful, which my understanding it will be, the Quebec government said they'd probably finance half of the first facility. And there are companies lined up to do offtake agreements for production, which will probably pay for the other half. So we could end up owning half of a magnesium facility with actually putting up no money. So it's one of those things. If it all works out, it'll be a company maker. Company has approximately 60 million shares out, 2.6 million options, 14 million warrants, fully diluted. There's 75 million shares out. Company hasn't done a financing probably in almost 2 years now. And we do have the warrants, which are starting to get into the money, and probably we're hoping that they'll all get exercised in 2017, which will give us an ample funds to complete our drill program in the Northwest Territories as well as in Utah. So that's about it. Any questions, Eric?
Yeah, beautiful, Jack. Very good. So let's go back to the cap table on the warrants. You've got about 14 million out there. Where do the strike prices start coming in? I understand some of them are at a dime. Are there others that are higher?
Yeah, majority. I believe 8 million warrants are at 10 cents a share, and some of them are held by large players who would if the stock was 12, 13, 14 cents, would probably exercise them, and the balance are between 50 and 25 cents, 15 and 25 cents.
Okay, so we're talking about another, well, you're looking at least 1.5 to 2 million in the bank with all the warrants exercised, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, great. So clearly you've got some good diversification. I think that my first question will be around the Northwest Territories program this summer. A, do you have a budget for what you're going to do this summer? And then B, say you were to go the bulk sample route and really try to go into a position where you're going to be able to sell concentrate, how much total do you think it would cost you to get there?
Well, we plan to spend about $450,000 on our drill program this summer. We have, right now the pegmatite looks like it's averaging about 2% lithium. If we were close to transportation, we could actually sell that right as there will be buyers lined up just for that. We've been approached by buyers out of China that would buy 2% lithium spodumene for about $200 a ton. So there's a market for it. But unfortunately, we're too far away from ports, where you could economically ship, the spodumene. So, if just from looking, like from you look on Google Earth, you can see these pegmatites. There's some cirques in there where the pegmatite is literally 1,000 feet straight up. You could see it from the valley floor. So we kind of have an idea that we're probably going to have a pretty big resource here. But I think we could work a deal with the government. I think we could probably find somebody, a buyer who's interested in the concentrate, to actually finance a large bulk sample through putting it through a flotation plant and getting it into a position where you have a better concentrate. I think there are buyers for that, and the reason is there's such a short supply of lithium out there. I mean, the spot price of lithium is almost 100% higher than contract price, which just tells you that if you don't have lithium, you have to go out and buy it, and you have to pay quite a bit. So we're looking, first step is let's just drill it and let's see what kind of size of deposit we have. We have historical drilling, we have sampling. You could see it visually that these pegmatites are quite big. If we can delineate a resource, I think we can approach some buyers to maybe put up the money to create a concentrate. So the market's that needy of lithium right now.
So Jack, what would that be? We're talking about either your own partner or a buyer. $500,000, $5 million, $2 million type of a project, or what would you categorize that?
Well, I think the beauty of you probably to do a proper bulk sample, you're probably going to need $2 million. And the question is, how long will the permitting take? In the Yukon, you can do a bulk sample with your exploration permit. We're a pretty remote area. We're hoping that we could do a larger bulk sample than what you would do on a small mining operation. If we can work with the Northwest Territories government, we may get a dispensation where we can do a larger bulk sample using their mill and create a concentrate.
Yeah, I mean, I guess what I'm looking forward to is the additional drilling this summer. You've got the ability to really start building out the resource, which even if you just move down that path, if it ends up being big and fruitful enough, you'll have more options in the future. Speaking of projects that could be big, and I also have a little bit of experience with certain elements that have been found in Utah. With Tull Valley, what do you see as the potential there? And is there also, I see Spore Mountain is nearby, which I think is beryllium. There's also uranium around. What are the chances that you have something in addition to, or even primarily, a different metal, and what could that be?
Well, we do see some good beryllium numbers as well when we did our sampling. So those numbers are pretty good, but I think really the lithium numbers are, I think, what we focus on. The market's ready for it. There's lots of technologies now being developed, black box technologies where they'll take your lithium and using nanofibers not fibers, but nano technology and filters that they actually filter out some of the lithium at pretty reasonable prices. A lot of it is how they deal with some of the impurities and other metals that come with the lithium, and that's why we're very keen on taking a large sample where we can send it out to four different labs that want our lithium brine to see if they can create a process that's economic for our lithium.
And do you have a budget set at Tull Valley for this summer?
Tull Valley, we're going to drill shallow holes. It's not expensive drilling. They're using a track mounted air drill, and we could probably take 20 or 30 samples for probably under $200,000 all in. So we don't need to have a big budget there. If we can prove that we have decent lithium numbers, within 100 feet of surface, that's a pretty large resource.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like with just these two projects, you've got a lot of news flow coming through really into the fall and into the year, which could be exciting. This Magnesium 1 project, and we'll wrap it up here soon, but it just seems very intriguing. I mean, maybe you can give a little color on what the economics could look like if that deal works out, and does your partner have some financing themselves in case one of
Well, here's the thing: is the magnesium serpentine ores were a byproduct of the large mines in Quebec that produced what is it called, asbestos. So to access this asbestos, they had to take the cap rock off, which is the serpentine ore. And within that area, they've actually stockpiled over 300, which is almost 1,000 years of magnesium production. It's such a big number. But Mag 1 secured 50 million tons of magnesium ore at $1 per ton. They don't need to mine it; it's already been mined. And the Quebec government has a $100 million fund set up to create jobs in that area, because it was the asbestos mines before they were shut down were a very large employer, high-paying jobs in that area. So the government's very keen on assisting Mag 1 in actually funding their first facility. And off the record, they said they probably fund 50% of the first facility on a grant basis. And I know for a fact there are quite a few companies lined up to do an offtake based on the results of the pilot plant, which is currently being built. So it could be a very magnesium is one of these metals that if you can produce magnesium, current price of magnesium between $2,500 and $3,000 a ton. Magnesium actually sells for almost $4,500 a ton in the U.S. because of the duty from China. And there's only one magnesium production facility, which is in Salt Lake City, and all in North America. If we could prove that we could produce magnesium metal at an economically feasible price, which we believe we can with the technology we have, the market is literally massive.
That sounds huge. But so you guys have already essentially bought in or earned into your 50% cut. Is that correct? You did that deal about a year.
We invested $1 million approximately 18 months ago, and Mag would use that money to essentially move the technology forward.
Great. And so when do you expect maybe some news out of that project with the pilot plant?
I think within the next 30 days they'll have the results in the pilot plant.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Well, good. I think that this is a great overview on the projects themselves. As far as the stock goes, do you have anything in the pipeline in terms of maybe some additional investor exposure? Anything you can, enlighten the investors that are listening with over the course of the rest of the year?
Yeah, I mean, we're firm believers in PR, and really, if you look back in the last 18 months, this is probably the next 4 to 6 months. We'll have done more work than we've done in the last, say, 5 years. So, we plan to go out there and bang the drum quite a bit and tell the story. We're going to have many cycles of assays coming out of our hard rock deposit, as well as our brine deposit in Tule Valley, over the next 6 months. So, this is where the company gets the exposure that it needs, and it's time for it.
Yeah, sounds great. I think the chart looks wonderful as well. I'll probably put a few comments out as we publish this blog shortly, and we'll be sure to circulate it to the Gold Investment Letter tomorrow. But any closing comments, Jack?
No, I just look for. I mean, we're putting together our drill programs on 2 deposits. We've been, there's quite a few people kind of circling around who like the story. So it's probably a good time to take a real close look at this company.
Beautiful. Thanks for your time, Jack. Safe travels to Toronto today.
Thank you, Eric.
Ciao.
Bye.